The start of this was a visit from Synergos Institute. No? The founder chair of that is still Peggy Dulaney. And they had a global research program on bridging leadership. They wanted to find out what that phenomenon was all about. So they came to AIM and invited AIM to participate in that program. And the dean at that time assigned me to participate in the program. That started in around 1999. And by 2001, we started running the Bridging Leadership workshops.
Well, at the very start, when I saw the memorandum in the program, I said, Bridging Leadership, there's something new, and I was so eager to learn about it. But as we went through the modules, the sessions, I was talking to myself, well, partly I'm doing it because being a graduate of Peace and Human Development, as well as a social worker by profession, we always merge. We always go to the grassroots and really allow them to really share and own whatever problems they have.
I think at that time, there was still a lot of trouble. We're talking of the early 2000, 2004, start of the center. So there was still some trouble happening in Mindanao. Kidnappings were it's the name of the game. And we felt that probably by training leaders who are in the area, who have influence, who can change how things are going, will be a best way of achieving peace, national peace.
So having had a first-hand view of all of those divides that are, making it very hard for us to find nationhood, and I define that as oneness as a nation, a feeling of oneness as a nation. I got even doubly inspired when we started focusing on the younger people, on the future Bridging Leadership program. I always tried to think of them as the successor generation of leaders. And clearly, the kind of training, the kind of values formation that they got from this program has truly equipped them to be successor leaders of our country. And precisely, I'm glad to see a good number of them seemingly in that direction, already in fact in positions of leadership in our society in their various contexts, whether it's in government or in private sector or in the civil society. So you can see that this program has been producing results, very tangible results in terms of the people who have gone through it, and then actually asserting the kind of bridging leadership or transformational leadership.
I think the center was able to produce the objectives during the organizational stage. We were able to train a lot of leaders, and now it has become like a norm. You could hear a lot of institutions talking about ownership, co-ownership, the three principles. So I think it has gotten off the ground very well. We were able to train a lot of leaders, and by themselves, they were all doing it in their own respective fields. I was able to have a better perspective on the issues happening.
The centers actually immerse where it is and test out certain things that we want to teach. And we have programs, projects, etc. So how integral? One is, as I said, it makes us behave, the faculty especially, and our programs. Yeah, it's also a place where we can test, and we are free to test, and people seem to invest in it. We get support from a lot of people, and in that sense, yeah, it makes the institution honest and on what it offers.
What are societal divides? How do you bridge it and all that? But I think it was very clear to Ernie, even at that time, that this was a type of leadership not for small issues or small concerns. It was specifically for societal divides. So persistent, long-standing issues in society. And I think he wanted to reflect that in the name. And I think it will still evolve as we get to, as we get to know more things about bridging leadership. And as we have a pool of bridging leaders working together. Because before, the assumption was there's only one bridging leader. But at the end of the day, I think everyone in that stakeholder group should be a bridging leader, to be able to know about dialogue, to be able to know about empathy, etc., etc.
So what we wanted to do was to recruit leaders from Mindanao who would form a core in Mindanao to address certain issues. So the initial cohorts really came from there, and eventually formed a network wherein collaboratively they would address certain issues, especially at that time, peace issues, issues involving the indigenous peoples, and even issues on community organizing.
We were trained to be trainers kasi the issue there is that how can we train health leaders? We are not health people. We are social sciences, and ang discipline namin, majority sa amin, meron sa business, meron sa management, meron sa social science. Like ako specifically, social science yung discipline ko. How can we coach health leaders? No? Dapat doctor ka. So yung BL really taught us na sa coaching naman pala, hindi kailangan expert ka sa field ng medicine. At least you know the system, you know how it works, no? Parang you know how it works, you know how the system is. So yun yung pinakamahalaga. Yun yung appreciation namin sa BL.
I spend more time developing the notion of finding your personal inspiration, which in another sphere would be called your mission, or still in another sphere would be called your vocation, what God is asking you to do. And this notion of building a community of people not just like-minded, driven by the same values of wanting to help others has been very, very inspiring for me.
From the very name itself, I saw the clear need for bridging. As I said, I mentioned earlier that the different lines of division or the different dimensions of division that needed to be bridged in our society. And of course, I saw the promise in this particular program to really come up with the transformational leaders that would bridge those divides.
I think we can see with the existing fellows, because from 8, I know there has been hundreds, thousands who have taken the course, hundreds of fellows, but I know this program has been run also publicly, and also, again, this has been mainstream in the AIM programs, the degree programs. It's not them just shining, they're doing this to let the light of other people shine. And of course, the fellows also, for them to have committed themselves to these programs. You really see how much they've invested in themselves and how they've gotten out of themselves to reach out to others, to help their communities, their own communities. Yun, the proof's in the pudding talaga in the work that our fellows have done. And all this thanks to the mentorship of our executive directors and the faculty members of AIM. In coaching, mentoring them, we're very grateful.